I brought my grandmother to see the shop. What do you think?
Great. It's wonderful.
Okay, we're on this project today looking at the generator that doesn't seem to want to run properly. It starts fine and it runs, but then it dies, and it doesn't matter if the cord is plugged in or not. Show you what's going on here. So as you can see, it works, but it doesn't work very well, and I want to make that work properly so that I can power the shop. Let's figure out what's going on. I brought my grandmother to see the shop. What do you think?
Great. It's wonderful.
So the first thing to look at with these generators is the air intake, because if it clogs up, that is going to cause surging. Now, these filters are pretty dark, but that seemed a little excessive. I can't see through it at all. And these lights are brighter than the sun. Maybe a little bit. I guess I should let you know that I've never actually worked on a small diesel engine before like this. They're designed a lot like the little 4-stroke gas engines, but they've got a diesel injector. And the way the governor works and the way the system works is all new to me. I roughly know how it works. I fairly well understand it. However, new to me is always new to me. Gonna take our time and figure this out. And underneath door number 2, we have a starter, a regulator, but we don't have the engine yet. Okay. Okay, hopefully you can see in here. There's a fuel line up yonder that's causing me grief, but I think I can pull the unit off in about a second here, so I don't know if I'm fighting 30 pounds of fuel or if this thing's just that heavy, but we're gonna siphon this little bit out so that I'm not fighting an extra 20 or 30 pounds of fuel. So to do this, easiest with a clear fuel line so you can see the fuel. So I always hold it above where you're sucking. And then use your finger. So now you have, see how the fuel level comes back up? You've got a suction, you've got a low pressure, whatever word you want to use. All you got to do is tip it down, and you're siphoning. This tank was empty. I'll come back when it's done. Shout out to the best girlfriend in the world for getting me floor dry, because of course I had to spill as the hose ran out. And that's what she bought me. Thanks, Linz. Okay, so I'm working on pulling this fuel line off. And it's going to be hard for you to see, but I'm going to drain it into this funnel and into this oil pan. It worked. Ooh, that could be our problem right there. That filter still has diesel in it, you can see. There's the arrow. I think it was on... No, it wasn't on backwards, but there's the arrow. You can see how fast the diesel's leaking out. I think we found our problem, folks. Let's change this filter and try it. If you're a long-time subscriber, you know where I am. I spy with my little eye. Huzzah! Okay, I'm going to show you a trick that I don't recommend doing if you don't like the taste of diesel. There's an arrow on this filter. This is the new one I just picked out of the toolbox. There's an arrow. Sure, you can hear that. Here's the old one. See the arrow? I'm gonna clean off the end that I'm gonna breathe into. Gross. There's so much restriction there, and I know I just sprayed you with a mix of water, diesel. Hopefully that shows you. That filter was pretty plugged. Let's hope that was the fix. What do you think? Should I set the valves? Or should I just put this filter in and hope for the best? So that's replaced, and you can see by the color of it, it's holding fuel. I had a leak under here that I have fixed. It's no longer dripping. Okay, we have the fuel filter replaced, and we're just going to try it, see what happens. Maybe it surges, maybe it doesn't. See what happens. It sounds better, but I'm skeptical. The concrete's so brand new, we're just gonna keep it nice. Any spills, get stuff thrown on them, and swept up. Okay, battery's hooked back up. Let's try it out, see if it surges. Okay. Here's the real test. Can it sustain the compressor? Okay, so that's a very important step, turning the breaker off to the generator. That's what happens when you redneck things. It's like I hear a chainsaw in my yard. Well, I guess it's the weird neighbor, but I don't trust him. He beats his mother, and I told him to stay the hell away from my property. But if he's on his side, he's not breaking any rules. Yeah, the weird guy's in here cutting. With any luck, he's just cutting deadfall, and he's not coming near my place. And that he's not clear cutting this, because if he clear cuts this, there's a major highway right there that'll see right in here, and I want nothing to do with that. I've made this so private, I'll have to build a giant fence, and that'll have to happen quickly. So cross your fingers for me. bucket touches. Pretty stable right here. Apparently she stalled. So I think I want it in line with that post. you can hear the weird neighbor chainsawing still. Hopefully he's not wrecking my privacy. Okay, it was probably hard to tell, but the thing fell off. So I got it restrung now. I don't know why it didn't fall over, but it's stuck behind the blade, and I'm very thankful for that. Scary. Now, to my surprise, the dog release is electric on this thing. This is quite the fancy lift. I got it from my buddy Evan. And, well, it's gonna need some redneckery to make work, so stay tuned for that. So inside here, we have a dog release mechanism, and I have it clamped up with pliers. My grandma's home from daycare. It's the beeping. was hoping that was going to go all the way down nicely. Okay, the safeties work. So one thing I find super interesting about this lift is it's got this air chuck here, but it's just to this hose. So I'm interested by that because most of the time there's this unlock button here. It's normally plumbed into air. This one's plumbed into 220. So what that means is when I have my generator running, I should be able to put these dogs in and not have any issues without any sort of air hooked up to this hoist. And if I have air hooked up, it just comes to that chuck there. So that's a giant bonus for me. That's pretty exciting. Cross your fingers I can make it work. I don't know where this is going to end up in a video. We're out here a few days later after working on the generator, after putting this hoist up. I got a little project on the go. Years ago, I rubbed the tires off my dad's side by side for this, and those are the wheels off of mine. His has been sitting on rims, but I finally acquired a set of tires, so we're gonna put those on there. And since I just got this all figured out, I think we're gonna try the generator out again. I'm hoping the little bit of diesel leakage there is from the mess I made with the filter and stuff, and that's not leaking out of the filter with the twist ties, with the twist metal, whatever chicken wire I had to use. I'm not sure the seal's there, but I checked the hoses. You can see everything's still dry in there. So let's start this up and see if it works. It's probably about a week later. I haven't used it since, so we'll see if it works a week later. Okay, I don't want to hear about my electrical setup here. That stuff's just sitting there, nothing's attached. That stuff's just sitting there separate from everything else. It's just charging with a new panel outside. I've still got my cord coming in up to the panel, which we're going to unhook in a second here. And then when I start the generator, the large cord powers it instead of the little cord. My plans in the near future are to put a isolator on the input for the 110, because that only powers the lights and a couple of chargers around, and my Starlink and my cameras. So it needs to be hooked up all the time, mainly for the cameras. But anyway, step one. Okay, I've got a protective cover on here as per code, and then is sticker on because there's no power anywhere else, and we're working. And you can see my cameras are working too. That's really nice not to have the generator inside. It's nice and quiet outside, but this is next. This is going outside too. I've got a cover for it. That'll be in a video soon, I think. I want to do that before winter. Nobody touch that. I forgot a step. Always sounds like it's gonna blow up. I ran into this problem last time. just want you to have a look at this belt for a second. I took a video of that belt this morning on my phone, having absolutely no clue if it would last longer than 10 seconds. That'll be nice when the generator's moved a few feet away. Okay, let's go left first. About 15, I guess. That's right where we want it. Survived another use. Not much left of that belt now. And look at this. There's pieces all over the floor. That's hilarious. Oh my God, look at this one. It's way over here. That's... beauty. And that'll start the blink cameras and the Starlink back up. That worked flawlessly. I'm so happy. Obviously this thing needs repairs. I shouldn't have to beat on it like it owes me money. It should just close all the way and open all the way. But that air cylinder under there looks weak, so maybe that's all it needs. That'll come in a future video. Stay tuned for that. This works well. I'm gonna put a belt on it ASAP. Because there is no belt left. We're literally just playing with the Kevlar cords, so. And these will go back on the side-by-side that I robbed them off of. I'm not going to film that. I'm happy to have done that because having them on that machine instead of the machine they belong has kind of been eating at me, and Mom needs to sell that side-by-side. Why have it sitting around? Dad's dead. He doesn't use it. Hit that subscribe button if you've seen anything that you like so far, or if you hate stuff like that. It's only going to get worse. I redneck everything. I really love how the polish on the floor makes it so the dirt doesn't stick at all to it, unlike a rough finish concrete or even just bare concrete. The seal coat we put on this makes it, yeah, so nothing sticks. Also check out, I got new winter Crocs for the season. Normally I get them from Walmart and they're like 20 bucks. These I had to get from Amazon. They were 35, but yeah, they work the same. They're nice and warm, nice and toasty, so that's cool. I'm excited. I'm pretty happy about that. I added about a foot of space to the concrete floor. I can still get it up to work on it. Can't really win unless you step on the towel here. That exhaust probe we put in last year, still holding. Nice and full. And we got washer fluid still. We're just going to look around for anything that's touching that shouldn't be. On a dump truck it's nice and easy because you can lift your box up and you got access. What you're looking for is any leaks, any lines rubbing, any cracks in the cross members or anything. Pre-trip inspection, but it's definitely worth doing. You're looking around for anything that's going to cause you problems going down the road. In a pre-trip, it doesn't need to be super extensive. Just look around and look at everything. Don't be dumb. Right? There's stuff everywhere, so have a good look. Make sure nothing's worn out. Obviously check your oil, check your washer fluid. You're going to look at your wipers and you're going to check all the lights that are on. I'm going to give it a quick grease and point out the rest of the stuff here. Okay, so last time I went for a trip, I didn't have any heat when I was driving around super slowly, but if I sped up on the highway, I'd be fine. Sounds low. Sounds very low. This thing never overheats. It's always cold, but let's add a bunch of coolant, see what happens. Okay, I'm just gonna check if there's any stupid big leaks. So we gotta pressurize this thing, but I think it's low. guy here thinks he owns the place. So it's pressurized up top, and I guess so far that's the only 2 leaks. I think that one might need to get cut and redone, but maybe not. That's the problem with silicone hoses, is they break. You can hear it. You can hear it. Look at it. It's destroyed, man. Like, really? That's the problem with silicone hoses right there. They just break. It's leaking right there. For no reason. Okay, I've got these tight, and we're going to apply pressure again. Important step when you're trying to build pressure, make sure this is off. I like to think the leak you hear is the air pressure on the front fan. However, I hear it too. Maybe it's this. Let's hope not. Okay, the caps is 6 to 8 pounds. We're at like 9. So let's let that sit for a minute, and if it doesn't leak, we'll fill it with these. Well, that hasn't moved. Guess we're all right. Oh yeah, that's just awesome when the little fiber thing falls in your way. Stupid thing. Go tight, quarter turn. Yeah, that's where she sits. Okay, we're gonna do that everywhere. So I'm gonna go along and set all the brakes on this truck, and I will be back. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this shop. That's where all the water drained out from the box of Louise there, and it's going to the outsides, and we have nothing else going on other than we have some warmth. If you guys haven't seen this shop heater stove, this barrel stove build, go check it out. Hopefully this green spot and that green spot are just from me dribbling and not an actual issue. That red spot there, I know that's a problem. last load. Locked the excavator up for him and hid the key. And we're off. I didn't get it in time, but I went by another YouTuber, Destination Adventure. He's out of Williams Lake, just an hour north of me. I seen him sitting in the parking lot. If I see him again, I'll definitely make sure to grab a video of him. Yeah, go check out his channel if you haven't seen any of his stuff. He travels around, checks out a lot of cool places. He just came back from Northwest Territories or something. Yeah, that was cool. It's like seeing a celebrity a little bit. Well, there he is pulling out of the driveway there. Yeah, go check out Dustins' channel. He's pretty cool. He sees a lot of cool things. I wish I wasn't working. I would have tracked him down and bought him a beer or something. Maybe one day. If you ever see this, Dustin, I'm close by. Come hang out. Yeah, sure, it's always good to see other Canadian YouTubers out there. There's not too many of us, just the really big ones like D-Boss Garage and stuff, but you never see them around. I never have anyways. That's what we've been doing today. As you can see, I was able to order the last important piece to my hoist. So this is the top bar that goes across. It turns out online the numbers supersede. There was a whole bunch of different part numbers. I punched one in, and instead of buying everything individually for, I think I had it priced out at over $1,200 for the rollers. These rollers were $150 a piece. For example, there's 4 of them. Anyways, I got this whole top bar assembly for under $700 with tax. It comes, by the looks of it, with all the bolts, all the plates necessary for me to assemble this hoist. So the last piece remaining that I don't have is the motor, which lives up top, but we're going to make either a Princess Auto motor work, or if the nice lady that found me this gets back to me at a reasonable time, I guess, and a reasonable money is going to be the biggest thing. That motor was $3,000 from Princess Auto, was like $800. So we'll see what Lordco comes up with, and I'll update you then. But we've got this for now, so that's exciting. Working in the cold curses me again. My battery shut off and I didn't realize it, but I got the bar up top. These plates on the end just bolted on, and then the bar sits on top. I'm gonna go put those hoses up top, and I'm almost done this. Come here, you. It's not actually that tight. I've just got a lot of it shoved down here. So it's got to go down to where the motor's going to be. The old motor used to live up here. I don't know, I might keep it up here if I can. Now I got to run the cables. It's going to be hard to film this and show you what's all going on, so I'll show you while I'm up here. So this cable, if you look way down below there, see how it comes out this side, and then there's a hole in that mount on that side. So this cable follows the forward side of the lift, and it goes up through these rollies. And then it's going to run along the top and go down. And if you see, you won't be able to see from here, but I'll show you up close. It's got the same hole on the forward side of the lift. So the cable just runs straight across and down to that. And then that way this cable helps pick up that platform. That cable does the same on the back side of the lift to help pick up this platform. And that equalizes everything so that you pick your vehicle up straight and you make sure you set those cables so everything's the same height. My floor is perfectly level. I don't have any shims under these things except maybe a small washer down there. They're perfectly plumb. They're perfectly square on each other. I'm really happy with how this is going. Good day. Okay, so we have just our basic 4-wire 240 volt configuration. I'm just gonna hook it up to this breaker here probably, and we're gonna just test and see if the electronics work on this. I don't have a motor or pump for it yet. That's gonna come next. But if all the dogs and stuff release just by plugging it in and all the plugs work, etc., then I don't really need to mess around farther than just hooking this up so it's ready to go. So the way these breakers work is they're dual pull, which means they'll grab, you see how there's metal here, and there's a big spacer in between. So each side of this is a different leg of power. So power comes in here as black, power comes in here as red, all from this guy here. And each one of these is 240 volts if you cross them. And therefore each one of these is 240 volts if you cross them. So these breakers sit across those, and then you get power out that looks like this. This is obviously two different breakers, but it'll look like that with two wires coming out. And we'll get 110 from hooking this white wire, which runs down both sides. We'll get our 110 from adding that, and that becomes our 4th wire. So we're gonna have these two will give us 240, the red and black, which will go here. Sorry, which will go here. And then our white wire will go here. And this green wire is just copper, and it's just insulated extra. We're gonna wire it into this breaker and try it out. Okay, we got the cables routed. See, it goes up here, and then it crosses that bar, and then it comes down into the unknown there, and then the same thing with the second cable. It comes up and down, and this is what we're left with. So obviously I've assembled it at the right distance apart. Everything lines up nicely. These threads are ugly, so we're just gonna clean them up quick. I've got to drill concrete anchors, 5 on each side, and well, we're still going to test the power, but at least the cables are run, and yeah, let's try the power out. So that's how it's going to look with a bolt on the bottom. I'm going to add a nut on the bottom. I'm going to add a nut here, obviously, on both sides. I just wanted to give you a good look while I had a chance. This was loose because that's from the other side. So you see here, so this is kind of tight. Come over here, and the same cable is going to be kind of tight, and it is, so that's cool. This one's going to pull down into here, get a screw in it, and then that's what lifts the arms up with the help of the cylinders. Let's test the electronics now. in theory, this has power now. We're gonna have to go up here and turn the switches on. That's a good sign. Now what I would really love to see is these. There's solenoids in here. I want to see those click up when I press the down button. Of course not. Oh, let's give the let's give it power. Now this has controls on both sides, so same thing. Nope. Of course not. Why would it be easy? This is on. Oh. Okay. I don't know. I do know for a fact that the other side's not working because look at this. Okay. Here's the other side. Oh, fabulous. And both sides work. There is precisely nothing left of this belt. I've got one at the parts store, but if it'll pump this up while everything's running, might as well. But this is both sides work, which is all I need. So this button here normally brings stuff down without engaging the locks. That goes down. I bet you if I press this up button, there's a wire up there that gets hot. Okay. This was my biggest worry. So that's really cool. Oh yeah, this thing's low on battery. So this end cable piece doesn't quite want to take the nut, so we're just gonna force it. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, the end of this cable. Some of the threads, like one or two of the starting threads, are kind of ignorant. So we're just gonna force this little bit so that I can use it. Oh, that's just ignorant, isn't it? We're just remaking threads. This might be metric, actually. I'd like to find a standard bolt, which I know this is. But this is a nylock. Okay, so from this point, I know that the electronics in this thing work enough to lower it. So what I mean by that is when I press the lower button, these dogs shoot out, and that means the system comes down. Now where I'm at with this is the stock or factory pump that this came with lives way up top here. It's all controlled by the circuit board here and here, which is fine. However, the stock pump is $3,000 online, American money. So that's like $4,500 Canadian. I'm waiting to hear back on the pump in local money. And if I don't hear back, with a reasonable price, this is getting a Princess Auto pump. But it's as simple, so this wire, sorry, this is a hose. This hose here is hydraulic, and it runs to that side there. And the other hose is just right inside here. So normally there's a T-fitting right where my finger's flicking around, and the motor mounts right here. The motor that it comes with is all electronic, so up and down is run by these buttons. And the way it's wired is up, and then down actually engages this 240 volt system, and it lifts these, yeah, look at that. It lifts those out by pushing up on here. So that's what the down button does. The lower to lock button simply brings the unit down. Now that's not going to work for me if I use the Princess Auto unit, because the Princess Auto unit has a lever, which is fine because I'm going to mount the thing where I can use it and it'll be okay. Anyways, the most important part of the pump is to give cylinder pressure on both sides, and then the whole unit goes up. So next time you see this thing, it will be powered up, probably by a Princess Auto unit, because that's what I believe I can afford. I can't afford $3,000 more to make this thing work. That's just insane. For that kind of money, I would have just bought a whole new hoist. But this is a 10,000 pound industrial rotary lift, so it's worth putting a little bit of effort and money into. So far I've got $685, I believe, into that top bar, but that comes with all the wheels, like I pointed out earlier, instead of spending $150 a piece, which was the cheapest I could find online. That whole unit came as an assembly for like $600 plus tax. I guess I'm going to end this video here. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. And on the next one, we're going to finish this hoist, and we're probably going to finish working on, I would like to say, my red Chevy pickup truck out there that, if you haven't seen in the past, you will see shortly. And you should also go check out the video that I did on that, going to pick it up. We're going to finish fixing that thing up. Hopefully use this new hoist for that. Anyways, I've also brought this Duramax in. This is an LB7. I've got the heads and all the accessories. There's the block with the turbo and stuff still attached. This was in one of my trucks. I tore it apart years ago. It ended up sitting at a friend's place. And look at this. That's the injectors. When I told my friend that I didn't really care about these heads, he didn't realize that I meant I cared about the injectors, but not the actual heads. Anyways, they got left outside, so I've got to deal with those. We're going to bring the solvent tank in here and clean them out and hope for the best. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. This should be running soon. That'll be working soon. I don't really have much more to update. Take care. Have a good one.